All right, 5, 4. We already started. Never mind. Just
All right. So it says draw and label a graph. So you start with A, right? Do a graph. You go P for price, Q for quantity. And then it says largest producer of the surfboard foam stops production, so your supply will go down, because if you get less product being produced, you have less supply. So you do that, S2, S1, E1, E2, D1. And then it says, now assume that the surfing board becomes widely popular after this happens. So graph B will be based off of graph A. So you have the same labels with P and Q, and then you'll draw this. Oops, no, you won't draw that line there. You'll draw it up here and down there, and you'll say S2, D1, and your becomes widely popular, so your demand goes up. Goes like that. D2, and this is E2 to E3. And for C, it says compared to the original equilibrium, which is right here, and now it's here. Identify the parts that A and B together have on C, I. Equilibrium price goes up, up. Equilibrium quantity, you wouldn't be able to figure out how much the quantity shifts. It'd be unknown, because you don't know how much supply shifts and how much demand shifts. So your quantity can be same, more or less, depending on how far it shifts.
Whoa. So it says early in the 20th century, the advent of tractor revolutionized the production of wheat. Use the supply and demand model to show the effect that this new production technique had on the price and quantity of wheat. So for A, price and quantity, have supply and demand, and the tractor revolutionized the product of wheat, and the technology will increase the supply of wheat. So this is 2, this 1, and this is E1 to E2. So then,
Alright. So they establish an effective price floor, which means it's one of these. Right? So then for I, it's asking if the quantity demanded, what happened to it? It went from here to here. So it went down. For the quantity supplied, it went from there to there. So it went up. For the consumer surplus, it used to be this whole area, but now it's just this whole area. So that went down. Okay, so when they removed the price floor, it went back to here. So the price decreased. And then for the quantity supplied went up. Went down, sorry. And the quantity demanded went up.
Alright, so we're looking at whether an item is elastic or inelastic. The first item is insulin. So it says hint, look at C or G. Let's look at G. This is a necessity. So it is inelastic. And how do you know? Because it's a necessity. The next one is salt at one of 4 stores in a shopping mall. So if it's at one of 4 stores, that means it's readily available, so it is elastic. And there are many substitutes. Should I go down to 5? Cup of coffee, 1 year after 50% increase, price increase. The hint is D and H. So 1 year after, you have a lot of time, which means it is elastic. And obviously you have a lot of time. 7, meal at a sit-down place. That is a luxury, it is not a necessity. So that would mean it is elastic. Okay, so we use this equation to determine the coefficient. So quantity 2 here is 20, quantity 2 is 19, quantity 1 is 21, so it's 19 minus 21 over quantity 1 plus 2 divided by 2, so it's 21 plus 19 divided by 2, which this will be -2, and that will be 20. Reduces to -1/10. And then price 2 minus price 1. Price 2 is $6, price 1 is $4. So it is 6 minus 4 over price 1 plus price 2 divided by 2. This equals 2 over 5. And when you put that all into a calculator, that'll reduce to -1/4. And it is less than 1, so that would mean it is inelastic. Sign here doesn't matter whether it's positive or -1/4. If it's between 0 and 1, it's inelastic, whereas if it was just -4 instead of -1/4, that means elastic because it's outside of the 0 to 1 or 0 to -1 range.
So you got this equation right here, you got these numbers, so you plug the numbers right into the equation. It's simple, right? So your quantity 2 is 400, it says so on the word problem, Q2, and then Q1's 500, boom, write it down. And then you already know Q1 and Q2, 500 plus 400, in parentheses, divide by 2, right? And then you do that, big old line, put a fraction over a fraction. Your price 2 is 50 cents, it says so right there, minus your original price of 25 cents. And then you do 0.25 plus 0.5 all divided by 2. You get a calculator, you do all that, and you get -0.33 that. And for this right here, if it's less than 1, it's inelastic. If it equals 1, it's unit elastic. If it's greater than 1, it's elastic. And 0.33, the sign doesn't matter, you don't care about that right now. So the coefficient's less than 1, so you're like, oh, it's inelastic, and then you have the right answer. And that's how that works.
Okay.
Okay. Q2. Q1. Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. You get P2 minus P1 over P1 plus P2 divided by 2. That equals negative 0.83 repeating, which is less than 1, so it is inelastic.